Joe Koff, we are only hours away for G1 Supercard. How do you feel right now?
I'm really very excited. I'm very anxious. It's a very surreal moment for me to think that Ring of Honor in its short period of time is playing in this building and that I was able to steward that ship to get us here.
No pun intended, but have you ever thought that Ring of Honor Wrestling could be here at the most important arena, maybe in New York City in the United States?
I feel that the real answer is that we're worthy to be in Madison Square Garden. The opportunity afforded ourselves to be able to play in Madison Square Garden. But we've always been worthy of it because our wrestling is probably the premier wrestling in America, maybe the world.
How does this alliance with New Japan Pro-Wrestling, of course, and CMLL and other companies have helped Ring of Honor, to be more exposed to the pro wrestling business and the fans?
I think the reason why it's so successful is that all three brands really stand on their own, but they're so similar in ideology and the way they store in their continuity and just the way they run their businesses that it makes sense for us to be associated with each brand because we support each other's brands. We're not competing necessarily with each other's brands, and that's what's special about that.
Is there any match that when you enter the Madison Square Garden, comes to your mind, remembering when you were here as a fan in the past?
I've seen so many. I've seen Bruno Sammartino defend his title so many times. I've saw Gorilla Monsoon's entrance into the business, his first match in New York. There are so many memorable matches with Killer Kowalski. Now I'm dating myself because that's when I was a young boy. That's who was wrestling. So the one match I probably remember the most, that I talk about the most, was a match between Hans Mortier, who was the German giant or whatever he called himself, against Edouard Carpentier, who was the Flying Frenchman. And that match was just spectacular. I can almost tell you exactly what it went like to this day. And it was probably 50 years ago, maybe more.
Do you think that with this door open in the Madison Square Garden, we could see maybe in the future Ring of Honor Wrestling in a big stadium?
I didn't think we'd be in Madison Square Garden, so for me to think about a big stadium is probably a little too much for me right now. But again, if everything was right and it made sense to do that, and we could support the business fundamentals for a show like that, why not?
Great, that's awesome. Last question. I asked you this last year, I will ask you again. Is there any chance that in the future we can see Ring of Honor Wrestling in Puerto Rico?
I know we've seen some Ring of Honor stars in Puerto Rico. We don't have TV down there, so that helps us when we make our decisions on where to run. So I guess anything's possible. I will tell you, not in 19. We'd have to look to 20 for that.
All right, to end this interview, a message to all the fans in Puerto Rico and around the world that are watching you right now.
Please keep supporting us and love us because we love you.